Have you ever wondered why, even after faithfully taking vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium every day, your energy still feels low, your sleep restless, and your bones not as strong as you hoped? The problem isn't what you're taking. It's how and when you're taking them. I once met a man named Elliot, 62, who proudly told me, "Doctor, I take my D3 every morning and magnesium before bed." He was confident, disciplined even. But when I asked a few more questions about his meals and timing, I realized something: his body was absorbing only a fraction of what he thought. He was doing all the right things, but in the wrong order. Here's the truth most people never hear. D3, K2, and magnesium aren't three random supplements. They form a nutrient triangle, a precise biological rhythm your body depends on to move calcium to the right places. When that rhythm breaks, everything else begins to falter. Think of D3 as the key that opens the door for calcium. K2 as the guide that shows calcium where to go. And magnesium as the conductor who keeps the entire orchestra in sync. Without that conductor, the music turns to noise. After 50, this orchestra gets harder to manage. Your gut slows down, your liver becomes less efficient, and your hormone signals fade in strength. Even if you're taking the right dosage, your body might still be missing the message. That's why you can swallow dozens of pills and yet feel little to no difference. Here's where most people slip. They take D3 with a light breakfast, maybe just coffee and toast. But D3 is fat-soluble, which means it needs healthy fats, like olive oil, eggs, or avocado, to be absorbed properly. Without them, it simply passes through your system unused. Research shows that taking D3 with a meal containing healthy fat can boost absorption by over 50%. Half your results, lost to timing alone. Then there's magnesium, often treated like an afterthought. Yet this humble mineral is the spark behind more than 300 biochemical reactions in your body. It converts vitamin D into its active form, supports muscle recovery, stabilizes mood, and helps you sleep deeply. Without magnesium, D3 remains inactive, floating through your bloodstream without ever entering your cells. And sadly, most adults over 50 are chronically deficient. Stress, caffeine, alcohol, and many common medications quietly drain it away every day. Now, add K2 into the mix and things get even more delicate. K2 decides whether calcium ends up in your bones or your arteries. When you take D3 without enough K2, or with magnesium at the wrong time, your calcium traffic system breaks down. That's when you start seeing stiffness, cramps, fatigue, even artery calcification. It's not that vitamin D is bad. It's simply unbalanced. Imagine running a car engine with plenty of fuel but no oil. The energy is there, but the system grinds itself down. That's exactly what happens when D3 works without its partners. The good news? You can restore the triangle. Start by pairing D3 with your main meal that includes good fats. Add K2 alongside it. Then take magnesium later in the day, about 2 hours before bed, to help convert D3 while relaxing your nervous system. It's not about taking more, it's about taking smart. And when you do, something shifts. Energy flows back. Muscles recover faster. Bones grow denser. Your mind feels clearer, your sleep deeper. Because your body is finally working with nature, not against it. True health isn't about stacking supplements. It's about timing them with intention. So your body can do what it was designed to do. Heal, rebuild, and thrive. Now imagine this. You've just taken your morning supplements, a glass of water, a single soft gel of vitamin D3, and you go on with your day. It seems simple enough. But inside your body, an invisible chain reaction begins. Down in your small intestine, that capsule opens and releases D3, waiting to dissolve into your bloodstream. But here's the hidden catch: vitamin D3 can't truly dissolve unless there's fat in your meal. No olive oil, no eggs, no avocado. Then most of your D3 will quietly pass through your system, uninvited by your cells. Now, let's say you did have a bit of healthy fat. In that case, D3 slips into your lymphatic system, the body's internal highway, and finally reaches your liver. There, it's stored in a silent, inactive form, waiting for a signal to wake up. That's when magnesium steps in. Magnesium is the spark that flips the switch. It activates the enzymes in your liver and kidneys that transform sleeping D3 into its true form, calcitriol. Calcitriol is the real hero here. It's the messenger molecule that tells your cells, it's time to absorb calcium, strengthen bones, boost immunity, and create energy. But there's a problem, and it's far more common than you think. After age 50, most people are magnesium deficient. Stress, caffeine, alcohol, and even prescription drugs quietly drain it away. So your D3 might be sitting there, useless, because it lacks the one mineral that turns it on. Once D3 becomes active, it starts telling your gut to pull in more calcium from food. And that sounds great, strong bones, healthy teeth, more vitality. But without vitamin K2, that calcium doesn't know where to go. Instead of settling into your bones, some of it drifts through your bloodstream and begins to cling to your artery walls, turning soft, flexible vessels into hardened pipes. That's how arterial calcification often begins, silently, over years, even in people who eat healthy. This is where K2 earns its title as the body's GPS for calcium. It activates proteins like osteocalcin, which locks calcium deep into your bones, and matrix GLA protein, which sweeps excess calcium out of your arteries. So when you take D3 and K2 together, it's like managing traffic in your body. D3 opens the gates for calcium. K2 tells calcium exactly where to park. Magnesium keeps the entire system running smoothly. Without magnesium, this coordination falls apart. The gates stay open, the signals get confused, and the body ends up working overtime to compensate. Timing, too, plays a silent but critical role. Take D3 on an empty stomach, and absorption drops dramatically. Take K2 without fat, and its bioavailability plummets. Take magnesium right after coffee or a high-fiber meal, and your digestive tract blocks it completely. Small mistakes like these build up over time, leading to poor results, fatigue, or even unwanted side effects. Here's the part few people talk about: your circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock, also controls how these nutrients behave. Vitamin D peaks during daylight hours, when sunlight naturally triggers its production. That's why the most biologically aligned time to take D3 is in the morning, with your largest meal that includes healthy fats. Your body recognizes it as daytime nourishment. Magnesium, on the other hand, calms the nervous system, supports muscle repair, and prepares your brain for rest. Taken 2 hours before bed, especially in forms like magnesium glycinate, it deepens sleep and enhances overnight recovery. K2 is flexible, but it performs best when paired with D3 in that morning meal. Together, they act like partners restoring order to your calcium balance. And when you finally align these nutrients with your body's natural rhythm, something beautiful happens. Energy steadies throughout the day. Nighttime cramps fade away. Sleep deepens, and the mind grows calmer. These are your body's quiet thank yous, proof that the nutrient triangle is finally in harmony again. But when that harmony is broken, when one piece is missing, mistimed, or taken in isolation, the system strains to keep up. That's when you feel drained for no reason. Your heartbeat flutters. Or your blood tests show low vitamin D even after months of supplementation. It's not your fault. It's biology, your body asking, not for more, but for better coordination. Now that you understand what happens inside your body when D3, K2, and magnesium enter your system, let's talk about how to make them truly work for you. Because sometimes, it's not about adding more pills to your routine, it's about timing them with intention. A few small shifts in when you take them, how you combine them with food, and what you do afterward can completely transform the way these nutrients perform. Let's start with vitamin D3, the sunshine vitamin. It's fat-soluble, which means it needs healthy fats to be absorbed. If you take D3 on an empty stomach or with nothing but coffee and fruit, you're losing most of its potential before it even starts working. The best time to take it? With your largest meal of the day, ideally breakfast or lunch, that includes healthy fats. Think, a drizzle of olive oil on your eggs, a few slices of avocado, or a handful of nuts. Morning is also when your body naturally expects sunlight. That's when your circadian rhythm signals, it's time to wake up, move, and build energy. Taking D3 then helps your metabolism sync with your daylight cycle, boosting alertness, mood, and focus. People who take it late at night often notice trouble falling asleep, because D3 can influence your wake-sleep hormones. Next comes vitamin K2, the quiet partner that makes D3 complete. Like D3, K2 also needs fat for absorption, which is why pairing them together in the same meal is ideal. They're nature's perfect duo. D3 brings calcium into the bloodstream. K2 directs it into your bones, not your arteries. This pairing is more than smart, it's biological harmony. And there's another subtle advantage. When you take D3 and K2 together during the day, you activate your body's bone-building processes at the exact time your muscles are most active. Every step you take, every walk up the stairs, every chore you do, all send mechanical signals to your bones, absorb more calcium, grow stronger. That's why pairing your supplements with daylight movement amplifies their power far beyond what any pill can do alone. Now let's talk about magnesium, the great balancer. It doesn't energize you like D3 or K2. It grounds you. It calms your nervous system, soothes your muscles, and helps your body turn vitamin D into its active form. Because it has a gentle relaxing effect, it's best taken in the evening, either with dinner or about an hour before bed. The type of magnesium you choose also matters. Forms like magnesium oxide or citrate can upset sensitive stomachs. But magnesium glycinate, the gentlest and most absorbable, helps you unwind, supports deep sleep, and complements the D3-K2 partnership perfectly. So here's the ideal rhythm. Morning or midday. Take vitamin D3 and K2 together with your main meal that includes healthy fats. Evening. Take magnesium glycinate with a light meal or right before bed, with a glass of water to support absorption and hydration. And yes, water matters. Magnesium regulates your body's electrolyte balance, so taking it with water helps transport it efficiently into your cells. If you drink coffee or tea in the morning, remember that caffeine depletes magnesium, so be sure to replenish it later in the day. Now, let's connect this rhythm to real life. If you spend most of your time indoors or live in a region with little sunlight, even consistent D3 supplementation might not raise your levels as expected. In that case, combine your D3 intake with a short morning walk. Even 10 minutes under natural light helps your body recognize and utilize the vitamin better. That gentle movement increases oxygen flow and circulation, carrying nutrients more effectively to your bones and muscles. A few more things to keep in mind. Avoid taking D3 or K2 at the same time as high-fiber supplements or large doses of zinc, both can interfere with absorption. And don't take magnesium with calcium-heavy meals, they compete for the same pathways in your gut. When you start following this intelligent, biology-based rhythm, the change is subtle at first, but it grows with time. Your blood levels of vitamin D stabilize. Your energy feels steady instead of spiking and crashing. Your muscles recover faster, your mood improves, and sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. You begin to realize something powerful. You're no longer just taking supplements. You're working with your body's natural design. And that's the real secret, not more, but smarter. Not force, but flow. When timing, nourishment, and rhythm align, your body doesn't just survive the years, it begins to thrive in them. Let's talk about what really happens when this triangle, D3, K2, and magnesium, begins to fall apart. Because when one side weakens, the entire system starts to unravel. Most people assume, if one vitamin is good, more must be better. But with these three nutrients, balance, not quantity, is everything. When you take high doses of vitamin D3 without enough K2 and magnesium, you unknowingly create a kind of traffic jam inside your body. Calcium starts traveling the wrong routes, magnesium levels quietly drop, and you begin to feel strange, disconnected symptoms, ones that don't seem related at all. I've seen this pattern again and again. Someone starts taking large doses of D3 because their blood tests show they're low. A few months later, they feel tense, their muscles ache, headaches appear, or they can't shake off fatigue. They often blame stress or dehydration. But the real culprit? Magnesium depletion. You see, every time your body converts D3 into its active form, it uses up magnesium in the process. The more D3 you take, the more magnesium you burn through. And when your magnesium runs low, your muscles begin to cramp, your heartbeat may flutter, and your sleep becomes restless. That's your body's quiet way of saying, slow down. I need balance, not excess. At the same time, without K2, the calcium that D3 helps you absorb doesn't reach your bones, it drifts into soft tissues, joints, blood vessels, even your kidneys. Over time, this leads to stiffness, reduced flexibility, and arterial calcification, one of the most silent yet deadly accelerators of cardiovascular aging. It's ironic, isn't it? We take these supplements to protect our hearts and bones, but when used out of sync, they can do the very opposite. The good news is, the body is incredibly forgiving. Give it the right support, and it begins to heal almost immediately. Once you restore the D3, K2, magnesium triangle, the changes are remarkable. Within a few weeks, many people notice their muscles relaxing again. Cramps fade. Sleep deepens. That's magnesium stepping back into its role, calming the nervous system and helping D3 function properly. Over the following months, bone density begins to rebuild. Not just because of calcium, but because calcium is finally being guided to the right place. K2 activates key proteins that bind calcium directly into your bone matrix, strengthening from within. This process becomes especially critical after 50, when bone mass naturally begins to decline. And it's not only about preventing fractures, it's about preserving mobility, strength, and independence as you age. Your cardiovascular system also benefits profoundly. With K2 ensuring calcium stays out of your arteries, your vessels remain flexible and resilient. That elasticity keeps blood pressure steady and supports the tiny capillaries that feed your brain and muscles. Meanwhile, magnesium relaxes the smooth muscles of your arteries, improving circulation and oxygen delivery. The result? Instead of feeling tight and sluggish, your body feels supple, alive again. But the benefits go even deeper. This triangle also influences your metabolism and mood. Vitamin D and magnesium work together to regulate insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, two key factors in maintaining energy, immunity, and mental clarity. Many people who correct this balance say something shifts inside them. Their afternoon fatigue fades, their focus returns, and their motivation lifts. And the emotional impact is undeniable. Magnesium and D3 together influence serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters that shape your emotional balance. That's why so many people say, I finally feel like myself again. That's the beauty of nutritional harmony. You're not forcing your body with synthetic stimulation, you're awakening its natural rhythm, its built-in capacity to repair and thrive. Still, it's important to remember that supplements are just one piece of the puzzle. They're meant to support, not replace, a nutrient-rich diet. Leafy greens, fatty fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, and fermented foods, all of them naturally reinforce this triangle. When you pair smart supplementation with real food and mindful habits, your body operates the way it was designed to. Resilient, balanced, and self-healing. So if you've been taking your supplements faithfully but still don't feel the difference, or if your D3 levels never seem to rise no matter how much you increase your dose, that's your signal. Pause. Rebalance. It's time to help your body work with you again, not against you. And in the next part, I'll walk you through a simple daily plan to integrate D3, K2, and magnesium into your routine effortlessly. Plus a few smart habits that help your body extract every ounce of benefit from each dose. Now that you understand how D3, K2, and magnesium truly work inside the body, let's bring everything together into one simple, sustainable rhythm. A daily plan that aligns with your body's natural clock. Here's how it might look in real life. When you wake up, start your morning with light. Step outside, even for just 10 or 15 minutes. That gentle sunlight signals your brain and skin to begin producing natural vitamin D. It sets your circadian rhythm, lifts your mood, and primes your body for the day ahead. It's not just sunlight, it's nature's on switch for your hormones, energy, and focus. Then, with your first main meal, ideally breakfast or lunch, take your vitamin D3 and K2 together. Make sure that meal includes healthy fats. A drizzle of olive oil on toast, a few slices of avocado, an egg, salmon, or a handful of nuts. Those fats act as the carrier that lets D3 and K2 enter your bloodstream and reach the cells that need them most. Remember, these two work in partnership. D3 brings calcium into your body. K2 tells it exactly where to go. If one is missing, the message gets lost. If you stay active during the day, walking, gardening, climbing stairs, even better. Movement sends signals to your bones that say, build here. Strengthen here. That's how your supplements and your actions reinforce each other. You're not just feeding your body, you're teaching it where to rebuild. As evening approaches, it's time for magnesium. This mineral works best when your body begins to unwind. It relaxes your muscles, calms your nervous system, lowers stress hormones, and prepares you for restorative sleep. Take magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. It's gentle on the stomach, easy to absorb, and deeply soothing. It also helps replace what's been depleted through coffee, alcohol, or daily stress. You can even turn this into a small nighttime ritual. A warm glass of water or herbal tea. A few slow breaths. And your magnesium supplement. A quiet moment to tell your body, you're safe now. It's time to rest and heal. Now, a few things to avoid. Don't take D3 and K2 with fiber supplements, since fiber can trap fat-soluble vitamins and block absorption. Don't pair magnesium with high-calcium meals, they compete for the same absorption channels in your gut. And if you're on medication, especially blood thinners, check with your doctor before adjusting your K2 intake. When people follow this simple rhythm. Morning sunlight. D3 plus K2 with a nourishing meal. Magnesium in the evening. Something powerful begins to happen. Within weeks, they notice steadier energy, sharper focus, and calmer sleep. Over time, bone density improves, arteries stay flexible, inflammation drops, and vitality returns. You're no longer taking supplements, you're retraining your biology to work in harmony again. What I love most about this process is how gentle it is. There's nothing extreme about it. No complicated formulas, no expensive products. It's simply about understanding how your body was designed, and working with it, not against it. When you respect that design, your body responds. It rewards you with balance, strength, and longevity, the quiet kind that doesn't shout, but lasts for decades. You stop merely surviving the years, and start thriving in them. And here's what I always tell my patients. Health isn't about how many supplements you take. It's about how intentionally you take them. Every capsule should have a reason, a time, and a companion nutrient that makes it effective. So if you've been taking D3, K2, and magnesium separately, now you know how to bring them together, with rhythm and purpose. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just refine the timing, adjust your meals slightly, and stay consistent. Because real health isn't built in a single day. It's built through small, intelligent choices repeated daily. choices that honor the way your body truly works. When you find your nutrient rhythm, your body responds. You sleep deeper. You move easier. Your mind feels clearer. And over time, you don't just feel the difference. You become the difference. That's the power of understanding your body's design. And using science not to fight aging, but to live younger, longer, and stronger. Thank you for watching. If this message helped you, share it with someone who's been struggling with low energy or confusing supplements. Because sometimes, a few simple shifts can completely transform someone's health. One mindful choice at a time. Stay curious, stay strong. And I'll see you in the next video.